Hey, sports fans, PB&Z Sports Cast. Look, we got G Money, so you know what we're talking. Maybe some bets, maybe some football, of course. And my man PB. By the way, speaking of football, we're going to make our predictions for the NFL. But this weekend was crazy in college. You had 7 games with 50s, 1 game with a 60, 2 games in the 70s, and 1 game with an 80 score.
That's insane.
Was it a while? I'm looking at sports this morning, and I'm like, what the hell happened in college football? And by the way, BC sucked. They lost to Northern Illinois. I don't want to talk about it. I was there. It's embarrassing. It's going to be a tough year at the Heights. All right, let's get into the NFL. We're going to start right off with the AFC. We're all AFC East fans because, you know, Patriots, Dolphins, right? PB, who do you like in the AFC East?
It's hard not to pick against Buffalo, really. So I'm going to go with the Bills. I mean, I think the Dolphins will give them a little bit of a run. Jets are still, to me, to be determined. We'll see how they do if their offensive line can hold up for the whole year. But at the end of the day, I think Buffalo's, you know, led by Josh Allen and then all the offensive weapons that they have. I'm going Bills.
But let me ask you a question. And G-Money, who are you picking first?
I'm going Bills as well. I was tempted to go the Jets. I think the Jets are going to have a great season, but I think the Bills will have maybe one more win than the Jets.
I'm thinking about the Bills, PB, and you just said all their weapons. I think the Jets have more weapons. At the end of the day, outside of Stephon Diggs, by the way, I'm so on Stephon Diggs. I think the kid Garrett Wilson's going to have a better year than him, quite frankly.
I'd agree with
so
that.
I think that the Jets got much more skilled positions, in my opinion. Now, you said it. Offensive line, that's the question mark. So I'm going Bills, and I'm going Dolphins second in that position. By the way, I got Dolphins coming out as a wild card. All right. What do you got in the North, PB?
There's another division that's like you're talking about 3 or 4 games either way with teams like Cleveland, Pittsburgh, right? They wouldn't surprise me if they put up 10 or 11 wins, but they're not going to surprise me if they put up 5 or 6 wins either, you know? Right. I think their range is big. Baltimore should get sniff double digits. They have a tough schedule, but they should sniff double-digit wins. But at the end of the day, I got to go with, again, the team with the offensive weapons, in this case, the Bengals. So I'm going to take the Bengals. They'll probably win it easily, maybe by 2 games over Baltimore.
G-Money, what do you think?
I was very tempted to go with Pitt because I think they're going to have a huge year. I like Pitt. They'll go to the playoffs, but I do have to agree with PB that it's going to be the Bengals. The Bengals are the better team, but I think Pitt is going to be right there neck and neck with them, and I wouldn't be shocked if Pitt wins the division.
Really? You got Pitt being second in that division, then it sounds like.
Yeah, I think Pickett's going to have a massive year. He's got a ton of weapons. They have a great D. I mean, they got TJ Watt. I think they're going to have a great year. I think they could win the division, but I'm going to err on the side of caution and go with the Bengals.
I am as well. I am a little worried about Joe, though. He seems to be a little injury prone, right?
Lately, yeah.
Yeah, so, but I got them as well. I got the Bengals. All right, let's go to the South. The Jaguars, all of a sudden, are the team that everybody is high on. What do you guys think? Did they win the South?
Yeah,
by default, because they have no competition.
Yeah, they're in a weak division. So, I mean, just playing Houston twice, they're playing Indy twice, they're playing Tennessee twice. They should go 5-1 at worst in those games. I think they run away with that division. They might have the thing wrapped up by week 12 or 13.
I agree.
By the way, Tennessee is not going to be as bad as you think. Trust me on that. But Jaguars do win that division. I got you. Trevor Lawrence is going to be in the MVP running. Mark my words this year. All right, let's go West. What do we think? G-Money.
I'm going the Chargers. I think the Chargers, it's their year this year. I think they're going to have a massive year. They got a new offensive coordinator. They got a great D, great weapons on offense. They're a solid team from top to bottom. One of the probably, if you look at their roster, probably the best roster in football, I'd argue. They got a solid team. So I think they're going to win the division.
I believe you said that same thing last year.
Yeah, I was going to say the same. Yeah, exactly.
The best roster in football. Did he not say that last year as well?
Almost exact. Yeah. And look what happened. They didn't even make the playoffs. Or they did and lost in the first round.
They lost to the Jags. Yeah.
Lost the Jags in the first round. I do agree with G-Money in the sense that they are talented. I don't think Staley is even a good coach, let alone a great coach.
By the way, I don't think Kellen Moore is a good offensive coordinator. I'm glad he's out of Dallas.
Yeah. So, I mean, I just don't think this team has the like the game planning and coaching and discipline and all that other kind of stuff. They're like the Yankees. They're like the Yankees of the NFL. They got looks like a good roster top to bottom, but they're just a freaking hot mess, So I do not have this team winning the division. I mean, I got the Chiefs there. Until they prove me otherwise, I'm riding the Chiefs. And
are you saying the Chargers don't even make the playoffs then?
They might. I mean, there's too much talent there to not make the playoffs, but who knows?
Oh, okay.
They might pull a Yankees on us and not make the playoffs either. But I wouldn't be surprised if, Peyton turns some things around in Denver, and Denver maybe competes for that second spot in the West. But right now, I'm holding out on saying who's going to finish second. I'm just giving you my win of the Chiefs.
Any of you guys worried that Chris Jones is not on the team yet? Basically,
it's a big problem. Kelsey was on a show last week, and his
podcast with his brother.
Yeah, he was pleading him to come back. He's like, "We need you, man. Like, can you come back? Like, we need you right away."
I mean, that's bigger than Bosa not being with the 49ers. We'll talk about that in a minute. But Chris Jones is their premier defensive player, correct?
It's their only good defensive player, in my opinion. Only great one.
Yeah. No, you're right. All right. So who do you got as your wild cards, PB, in the AFC?
I'm going to go with the Finns. I will go with the Chargers, and I will go with the Ravens. My 3 wild cards.
Okay, all right. G Money, who do you got?
I got the Chiefs. I got the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I got the Jets. I have Miami mixed in the playoffs.
Wow. I mean, I've seen a lot of stuff about the Steelers. They're going to be better than I thought they were going to be when we did our divisional rundown, PB. I can't go that far though. Gee, sorry. I got Miami, I got Baltimore, and I got the Chargers as my 3 wild cards. All right, before we go,
so me and you have the same exact full division winners and the same exact 3 wild cards.
Yeah. What were you saying, G Money?
So you both have the Jets missing out?
Yep.
Not by much. I tell you what, if Tua gets hurt, Jets get in.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, Tua. The only reason I didn't take Miami is because Tua is injury prone. I don't trust it until otherwise.
That's a good point. All right, let's go on to the NFC before we talk the playoffs. NFC East, what do you think? G Money, I'll start with you.
Yeah, there's a record going on there where there's no repeat division winners for like 20 years, something crazy like that. So I'm going to stick with that thought process, and I'll give you Dallas Cowboys division.
Yes, you're a smart man. All right, PB, what do you think?
Yeah, and I'm going to add to that a little Super Bowl loss hangover. I think some teams coming back from a lost Super Bowl, they tend to start to slide a little bit. And I know you look at this roster top to bottom, coaching.
They are stacked.
Offensive line.
They had a good draft too, right? But
defensive line, offensive line. Yeah, they got guys like DeAndre Swift that they picked up. I think AJ Brown and Devonta Smith are 2 really good 1-2, probably top 3 1-2 receivers in the league. You got Dallas Goedert. I mean, if there's going to be that streak getting broken ever, this would be the year that it would happen with the Eagles winning the division twice in a row. But I am going to go with the Super Bowl loss hangover and all the other things that G Money said and go with Dallas as well.
And by the way, Jalen Hurts, I mean, the jury's still out, right? Yes, he had a great year last year, and I happen to love the kid, but he has to take the next step. We'll see, right?
Yep.
All right, I got Cowboys as well. All right, let's go to the North. PB, we'll start with you. Who do you got in the North? This is a tough one.
Yeah, it is tough, but because you think you're just waiting for like the Bears and Justin Fields to bust out. You're wondering what Jordan Love can do with this, Green Bay offense. And then you have Detroit, who everyone's hyping up right now, and then you have Minnesota, who, last year was a 13-win team. And I know they lost Dalvin Cook, but I think this is the Lions' year. I think Dan Campbell and company are going to get this ship righted and figure out a way to win that division and get into the playoffs that way. So I'm going to take the Lions.
Whoa. All right. G Money, what do you think?
I'm with them. I like the Lions. I think they have a solid team. They play hard for their coach. He's a good coach. I mean, they're motivated to play for him. So I think they're going to have a great season. I think they're going to vie for the top seed, in my opinion.
The top seed in the NFC.
It's going to be them and one other team we'll talk about in a minute. But yeah, it's going to be a battle between those two.
Wow. All right. I got the Vikings. The Vikings to me still have the weapons. And yeah. I know they got Kirk Cousins. But he's not playing that many primetime games. That's a good thing for him. Right. So I get the Vikings. All right, so we went from the North. Let's go to the South. G Money, I'll start with you. Who do you got in the South?
It's a historically bad division. I don't think I've seen anything like it. And since I've been following football, it's horrible. With that said, the only team, in my opinion, that's half decent is the Saints. I think Saints win the division at 9-8 or 8-9. It's going to be ugly, but I think the Saints.
The Bucks won last year with 8-9, right? I think we're going to see a repeat, 8-9 again. I got New Orleans as well. What do you, PB? I know you're not big on New Orleans. Get ready for this one, G. Get ready. Go ahead. What do you got?
And I do think it's going to be that 8-9 record. So I mean, any one of these teams could potentially, surprise us and come up with 8 wins somehow. But I'm liking the Falcons. I think Desmond Ridder. I know it's his first full year behind, under center, and you got guys like Bijan who they picked up who could be the best running back to come out of college that we've seen in a long time, maybe. And guys like Pitts going into their 3rd year who hasn't really broken out just yet. Drake London was the first receiver taken over in the draft last year.
Good point.
8th or 9th overall. So I mean, they have weapons. If they can figure out down their defense is hurting, but if they can keep Ridder, protect Ridder, have a decent offensive line here, which right now that's also not one of their strong suits. But if they can just play offensive line and play some sort of defense, they can split, maybe go 4-2 in the division.
The more you talk, the more you're talking us out of even having any hope that the Falcons win 7 games.
I'm giving the cons.
All the reasons why they won't win 7.
I had to weigh it. But that's what I got.
Desmond Ridder wins an NFC South. Okay, all right. Gee, so who do you like? You like New Orleans, right?
Yeah, I was with you on the Saints.
Yeah, I'm the Saints too. All right, let's go West. I got a little surprised, but I want to hear you guys first. G Money, you start.
49ers, that team is a phenomenal team. Purdy is the real deal, in my opinion. I mean, it's only been a year, but I think he's got what it takes. He's like a Brady. He's got the intangibles, leader. I think San Fran has a 14-2 type season or a 14-3 type season.
14-3, really? Without Bosa?
He'll come back. They're going to sign him this week. Watch.
I don't know. He's a typical Bosa. They just think they're all world. The two of them. Their father put it in their heads that they're the greatest things on earth. A guy that only went to Boston College, but he was a good Boston College player. All right, what do you got, G Money? About PB, I'm sorry.
I think San Francisco's the class of the NFC right now. Seattle, I know you're probably going to pick Seattle because you love Pete Carroll and you love Geno Smith, but
I think Geno Smith is the real deal, and I am. I'll take a Seattle.
I know you. I figured as much. And I do like, that they're running back tandem with Kenny Walker, who was a rookie last year, and they got Zach Charbonnet out of UCLA this year. I think that's going to bode well for them. And their defense should be solid. I mean, they're definitely going to win some games. I don't think they can compete with San Francisco, though. So for all the reasons that G Money said, I think San Francisco takes that division and probably the number 1 seed overall as well.
By the way, I liked Brock Purdy in college, Iowa State, but there's a reason why he's a 7th round draft pick. We're going to see it this year. Trust me on that.
All right.
All right, who do you guys got wild cards? G Money.
I got some dark horses here. You guys gonna like this? The first one is going to be Philly Eagles. That's an obvious one. I mean, Dallas and Eagles, you could pencil them in. The other two are not so obvious. You guys might laugh, but I just have a feeling that they're going to make it. Washington, I think they're going to be one of the wild cards. Slim and Sammy is going to have a good year, and they got a strong defense. So I think they're going to be one of the wild cards. And then Chicago Bears is the 3rd wild card.
Interesting.
How much have you had to drink? It's only noontime.
Only one. This is it.
Holy shit. All right. Wow. PB, you got to go. I can't even talk right now.
I'm going to go Philly, Minnesota, and Seattle.
Okay. I got Philly, I got Detroit, and I got San Fran. Wow. All right. So, G Money, since you're on a roll, who plays in the NFC Championship game? And who wins
San
it?
Fran and Detroit. I think they're both going to march through the playoffs with relative ease. The NFC is not that good this year.
No.
And I think those two play each other, San Fran and Lions in an epic battle.
And who comes out of it?
Lions.
You got the Lions going to the Super Bowl. All right, PB, go ahead. I can't. All credibility is gone right now.
I got the Niners and the Cowboys. And and the only reason why I'm going to take the Niners in that game is because the Niners are going to end up with that number 1 overall seed. So they'll have played one less game. So they'll be healthier and they'll be at home. But if Dallas can somehow squeeze out that 1 overall seed, I would take Dallas for the same reason in that game. If it was in Dallas and, Dallas played one less game than San Francisco did. So whoever gets that number 1 seed is going to the Super Bowl this year. I know we don't see that all the time, but this year the number 1 seed goes to the Super Bowl. And I'm going to go with San Francisco being that team.
You guys laugh at me, but 2 years ago, would you have ever guessed that the Bengals would have made the Super Bowl? They weren't even predicted to make the playoffs.
No. Good point. I'm just not sold on Dan Campbell. And another guy I'm not sold on. He's been choking since he was the offensive coordinator of the Atlanta Falcons, 28-3. Kyle Shanahan. And Jimmy Garoppolo said something very interesting last week. He came out and said, "There's some weird things in San Fran. That's all I'm going to say." I think there's more behind that than we think. Kyle Shanahan is overrated. I get Dallas. I get Philadelphia playing in the championship game. Dallas wins.
Oh, all right. We got interesting.
It's the best division of football. It used to be the worst, right? We used to judge PB ever since we started doing the show. We made fun of the NFC least. It's now the best division of football. All right, let's go to the AFC. G Money, you first. Who do you got playing in the championship game in the AFC?
Yeah, I have the Bengals, and I have the Chargers.
You're just stuck to that Charger thing. I can't wait to hear who you say is going to win. All right, PB. Before we let G Money step on his, what. Who you got?
Yeah, definitely got the Chiefs there. And then I had a hard time deciding between Buffalo and Cincinnati. I think they're pissed off. They're pissed off over the last couple of years not being able to get there. So I'm going to say Buffalo makes it.
By the way, how long is Von Miller out for? Is he out for the first 4 games?
Yeah.
I think he got popped. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's out for. I got KC. I got Cincinnati.
Okay.
Who you got winning it? PB.
I got KC winning it.
I got Cincy. Who do you got, G? The Chargers?
No, I got Cincy.
Oh, all right. At least you woke up a little bit. All right, so who wins the Super Bowl? G Money.
Cincinnati finally gets their Super Bowl debut. They beat the Lions in an offensive shootout, high-scoring game.
Oh, my
Cincinnati over Detroit, huh? All right.
Who you got?
I'll take the Chiefs to win again, repeat over the Niners.
Boring pick.
I'm going Cincinnati as well. I'm going Cincinnati. Better weapons, I think. At the end of the day, Burrow stays healthy. That's my concern.
So you have them beating. You have them beating Dallas.
Yeah, I hate to admit it, but yes, I'm not sold on Dak. That's why. Not sold on Dak.
Me neither.
I used to be, but I'm not sold anymore. All right, MVP. PB, who do you like for MVP?
Should I stick with my boring picks? Patrick Mahomes. Right now, he's the best player in the NFL.
All right, G Money.
His name is, I'm literally drawing a blank on the name, but the Chargers QB, that stud, Herbert.
Justin Herbert?
Herbert. It took me a minute, Herbert.
All right. I know I just picked on him a minute ago, but I'm going to go Jalen Hurts.
Could happen. I mean, he almost won last year.
Yeah, I'm going Jalen Hurts. All right, Defensive Player of the Year. Who you got, PB?
Going to go off the board a little bit here. He's going to just a breakout stud year. Jalen Phillips.
Whoa.
Miami Dolphins.
Jalen Phillips from the Dolphins?
Yep.
Wow. All right, so you've been smoking crack. All right, G Money, who do you got?
I'm going with TJ Watt. He had a great season with Pittsburgh last year before he got hurt. And if he played the whole season, he could have won it. So I like him.
All right. Well, I'm going with the obvious. It's Micah Parsons. All right. Offensive Player of the Year. Who you got? PB, we'll start with you.
Well, I know I said Mahomes could get the MVP, so I'll go with a different position for Offensive Player of the Year. And this player is going to get Offensive Player of the Year and Rookie of the Year. I don't know if it's ever been done, but Bijan Robinson.
Wow. Well, you really need that for your Atlanta pick. Okay. G Money, what do you think?
DMC, Christian McCaffrey is going to win it. He looked awesome in San Fran the limited time he was there, and I think he's going to be better this year. He's going to have
That's a good one. I'm going Joe Burrow. I got Ball. Oh, by the way, is he the quarterback of my Survivor team? Oh, he is. Yes, that's right.
Yeah, and I have Justin Herbert as mine. No,
Yeah.
No,
No,
I
no,
don't.
You waited a long time for yours.
Never mind. I
No,
wanted to take.
you got the guy from the Flag Football League.
I was gonna take Herbert, and my freaking app timed out, and I got stuck with Cooper Kupp, bastard. Oh,
And he's
well.
hurt.
I know. I didn't want to pick him, but I got stuck with him.
All right, who's your rookie of the year, PB?
Well, I just said Bijan Robinson.
Oh, yeah, that's right. All right, G Money.
It's kind of boring, but I'm gonna be following Bijan Robinson. He's a generational talent. He's gonna have a big year.
I got a surprise. I've been saying it all summer. Deuce Vaughn.
Oh,
Really?
jeez, dude, you're really talk about smoking crack with the Dallas Cowboys. Jeez, Deuce
He's
Vaughn.
gonna
He's
light
like,
it up. Watch it. Trust me on that.
He's like
All right,
5'7".
He's 5'7", but he's a thunderbolt. Come on.
Did
Did you ever
Yeah,
watch him at
yeah.
K-State? He was unfortunately
year.
they won the championship. They beat my Oklahoma team last year.
The guy's not even Tony Pollard's the guy in Dallas. I mean, he's not even going to see 25% of the snaps a game, if that.
Pollard's not the same guy without Zeke, unfortunately. Watch what happens. Plus, he's a kick returner, a punt returner, so there's where he's going to make plays. Trust me on that one. All right, good show, gentlemen. Enjoy your Labor Day.
Thank you. You too. Thanks for having me.